Logan or, oh, yep, this meeting is
Ah,
being
being
recorded.
recorded.
All right, Chair Posey, we have a quorum. I believe Rachel was also able to join, so feel free to get us started. And Mina, if you want to start us at the first page of the agenda.
Thanks, Mina.
All right, Chair Posey.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate everyone being here for our March meeting of the Montana Board of Housing. Logan, have you started the recording?
You can.
Yes, we
Okay,
are
that's
recording.
okay. Thank you very much. Cheryl, I will go ahead and then turn it over to you.
All right, well, thank you so much to our volunteer logistics for our board meeting today, Mina Chu, who'll be running the screen share. Thanks to everybody for joining. As a reminder, if you're joining via Zoom, you can mute and unmute your audio using the little microphone feature in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. You can also use the features to raise hand or type in the chat. If you're providing public comment, please speak and spell your last name and the organization that you're with, or you can send an email to housing@mt.gov with that information if you're joining just by phone. You're welcome to use headphones if that reduces audio for you. And just a reminder for all attendees to please keep yourself muted unless you're providing active comment. And with those logistics, I'll turn it back over to the chair for board member introductions.
Thank you very much, Cheryl. We'll introduce the board. I'm Bruce Posey, board chair out of Billings. Sheila.
Sheila Rice, board vice chair out of Great Falls.
Amber is excused for today, correct, Cheryl?
That's correct.
Jeanette.
Jeanette McKee, board member, Hamilton.
Richard. I know you're there, Richard.
I had it on mute. Richard Miltenberger, board member out of Helena. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Rachel.
Good morning, Rachel Arthur. I am in Great Falls.
Thank you, Rachel. And Ryan.
Ryan Aiken in Missoula.
Thank you, Ryan. Back to you, Cheryl, for the introductions of staff.
All right, so I'm Cheryl Cohen, Board of Housing Executive Director, and I'm just going to go through the staff as I see them on my screen. Jessica Michael, Homeownership Program Manager. Vicki Bauer, Accounting and Finance Manager. I'll include Nathan Bilyeu, General Counsel for the board. Jason Hansen, Multifamily Programs Manager. Megan Sojourner, Administrative Supervisor. Joe DeFilippis, Operations Manager. Jesse Ennis, Mortgage Servicing Programs Manager. Bruce Brenstall with the Multifamily Allocation Team. Jules Engel with the Community Housing Team. Julie Hope with the Homeownership Team. Charlie Brown with the Homeownership Team. Nicole Newman with the Community Housing Team. Brian Barnes with the Multifamily Team as Asset Manager. Marta Bertolio, Director of Commerce, has joined us today. Thanks, Marta. Ashley Miller with Accounting and Finance. Julie Flynn, Community Housing Program Manager. And Kelly Garigula for the Multifamily Allocation Team, and Logan Kohlberg, Executive Assistant. Have I missed any Board of Housing or Commerce Housing Division employees? All right, and if I can turn it over to Joe to read off the community members we have joining us today.
You bet. Let's see here. Mina Chu, who's running our show. Thank you, Mina. Alex Tim, Angela Getchell, Austin Trunkle, Becky Brandborg, Jean Luer, boy, oh boy, Matt Bells, Misty Dalkey, Parker Webb, Patrick Zhang, let's see, Trista Krantz, Tyler Currents, and I believe that is all. Did I miss anyone from guests area? Sometimes they join and they pop up to the top, but I think that was it.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Cheryl. Now comes the time for public comment on any public matter that is not on this agenda, but is within the jurisdiction of this agency. Do we have any public comment at this time?
Seeing
Any
none,
public
Chair.
comment? None. Thank you very much, Joe. Hearing none, let's move on to the minutes of the February 9th, 2026 Board of Housing meeting. The board members, that was in your packet. Does the board have any discussions and or questions regarding those minutes?
Mina, if you want to scroll to page 5, that's where you'll find the minutes.
Does the public have any questions and or comments regarding these minutes?
Seeing none, Chair Posey.
Thank you very much, Joe. That being the case, may I have a motion and a second for approval of the minutes of February the 9th, 2026?
Jeanette moves to approve.
Thank you very much.
This is Richard, I'd second.
Thank you very much. They've been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Oh, same sign, motion carries. We're now going to vary from our agenda, and we're going to move to servicing. And Jesse, because Jesse has a school to attend here about 9 o'clock. So Jesse, would you please go ahead?
All righty. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mina, just to interrupt really quickly, this will be on page 56 for you.
It's a pretty good tag team going on.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. So quick update on the servicing dashboard for the month of February. We have currently 5,886 loans in our portfolio. The total principal balance for all those loans are just shy of $690 million. Escrow account bucket sitting at roughly $8.5 million. Our lost draft bucket, roughly $820,000. So that's trending down from the last month. You can see there. Actual foreclosures for the month of February was 1 and 3 for the calendar year. We paid off a total of 43 loans in February, and we onboarded 2 new loans. So moving down into the loss mitigation section, we've got 9 repayment plans, 6 trial payment plans for partial claims. We have 9 properties in our preservation portfolio, with one of those being a REO property. And for total foreclosures initiated, we have 44 currently, just shy of $8 million in principal balance with those 44 initiated foreclosures. And we currently have 27 sales scheduled. So that wraps up my servicing update.
Do we have any board comments or questions for Jesse on his update? Jesse, I have one question for you. When do we next get rated for our tier?
So we should be seeing our score. I'm hopeful we'll see that this month. There's been a delay in the reporting, but that first quarter score is basically what we're waiting on for the new fiscal year. And there's usually a couple months of a lag on that reporting. So we're hopeful we'll have an update for the board next month.
Okay, thank you.
And to add, we've been working quite a bit on having the reporting be through the EDI, electronic data interface file. And so we think we've gotten that squared away in the correct formatting based on all of FHA's updates. So our fingers crossed goal is that our reporting will go very smoothly for next month, and hopefully we'll get to see an improvement on the score. Just keep in mind that that score is something that is looking backwards, so it may take a little bit for the score to come up based on the activities we've been doing over the last couple of months to improve the reporting.
Thank you. Do we have other board questions and or comments for Jesse? Do we have any public questions or comments for Jesse?
Seeing none, Chair Posey.
Thank you very much, Jesse. We appreciate it. We'll let you get off to your class.
All right, thank you.
Cheryl, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Are we a member of the MBA now?
I believe we are. I think we have consistently been a member of the MBA. So Jesse's participating in the MBA course from 9 to 11, I think several days this week, and then last week as well. The course goes on for a month or two. And then we did have a couple of staff that we sent to an in-person MBA conference a couple of months ago as well, Danielle and Jackie on our team.
This is the Mortgage Bankers Association of America, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I'll need to talk to you about something after the meeting.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you very much. That having been said, let's go ahead and get back to our agenda and the finance program with Vicky.
And
We'll allow
Mina,
Mina to get where she needs to.
this will be on page 9.
And Mina, if you want to go ahead to the dashboard itself that has the graphs. Thank you. So on the investment diversification graph, you can see that at the end of January, the board's investment balance, not including the new MBS program, was $112.5 million, with approximately 97.7 million of that deposited into a money market, earning 3.6%. The remaining 14.7 million in funds were invested in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac bonds, as well as a small MBS from a prior MBS program, with rates ranging from 3.69 to 6.25. The MBS program at the end of January, we had purchased 173.3 million in Ginnie Mae MBSs and 9.1 million of Fannie Mae MBSs with bond proceeds. Next, on the weighted average yield trend graph, you can see that the weighted average interest rate from year to year went down from 4.61 of January 2025 to 3.86 January 2026. The rate had decreased from 3.91 in December to 3.86 in January. These averages do not include the rates on the MBSs, which range from 4.75% to 5.375. At the bottom of the dashboard, you can see the bonds outstanding for the multifamily, single family, and teachers programs. And we closed the 2026 A bond issue for $70 million on February 19th. And that concludes my update, if anybody has any questions.
Are there any board questions or comments for Vicky? Board questions or comments? Do we have any public questions or comments for Vicky?
Seeing none, Chair Posey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, Vicky, I do have a question for Mina. Mina, where do you see interest rates going?
Well, the Fed is meeting this week, and I think the consensus is no change. And we have seen so much volatility in the market due to the geopolitical issue in the Middle East that it's quite volatile. And since this is being recorded, I really cannot go on the record to have an opinion one way or the other.
Okay, I understand. Thank you. Vicky, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Let's then move on to the homeownership program and Jessica.
And Mina, this will be on page 12.
Good morning, everyone. You have me for a little bit here because we have I have quite a bit to read to you. So the first one is a new lender approval. The name of the company is Loan Depot. Are we on the right thing here? Nope, before that. Here we are. Here we are. Loan Depot was founded in Delaware by Anthony Shea. I had to look that one up. I hope I said it correctly. Shea in 2010. Their headquarters is in Irvine, California. They have a nationwide team of over 6,000 employees. Their Montana location is located at 534 West Higgins in Missoula and has home to 2 employees. Delivering a digital mortgage experience that is powered by their proprietary Mello software platform that powers every loan transaction, and together with their Mello Smart Loan, their end-to-end fully digital mortgage, Loan Depot offers a comprehensive range of purchase and refinance mortgage products, including FHA, VA, USDA, jumbo, non-QM, and conventional loans. They look forward to originating regular bond, down payment assistance, and mortgage credit certificate programs that MBOH offers. Loan Depot's application material, quality control plan, and financials have been reviewed by and approved by staff, and they meet all the requirements for becoming a Montana Board of Housing participating lender. Their full application and financial information are available for board members to review upon request. The staff requests that the board approve Loan Depot as a participating lender for Montana Board of Housing.
Do we have any board comments or questions regarding this approval? Any board comments or questions? Do we have any public comments or questions?
Seeing none, Chair Posey.
Thank you, Joe. That being the case, may I have a motion and a second for approval of Loan Depot as an approved lender for the Montana Board of Housing?
This is Sheila. I move approval.
Thank you, Sheila. May I have a second?
This is Ryan. I'll second.
Thank you, Ryan. It's been moved and seconded that we approve Loan Depot as a lender for the Montana Board of Housing. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed,
Aye.
same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Back to you, Jessica.
Thank you, Chair. The next item on my that I'm going to go over was brought to me by Cheryl Cohen. So I don't know if she wants to kind of preface why this came about, but she wanted me to do a deeper dive on what should remain and not remain on my dashboard. I'm getting pretty good at it now, so it's fine with me that everything remains. So it's up to the board what they'd like to have. I did get out my thesaurus, so hope you have your boots on. What items on the current homeownership program dashboard assist board members in excogitating program decisions? Which items are of less value to your review and can be removed? So if I don't know if we want to go ahead and go down to the dashboard and then I can just read each section and my questions. So yes, right there. So the first section is rates. Do board members wish to continue to see the current lending rates as well as rates for prior month and prior year comparison? Could prior rate history be removed on future dashboards? So does the board enjoy seeing this level of detail on the rates?
Jeanette speaking, yes, I really like what's been and what will be.
Okay, so we'll keep all of that. Sounds great. The MBS program is the next big section that's come about in the last year and a half, I think it is. Do board members review the itemized number of reserved loans for each program with corresponding dollar amounts? So that's over here on the left where you see February numbers and it goes through all of our different programs and then it has a dollar amount. And that would be just for the prior month. On the right-hand side, it shows loans purchased by Idaho. So those would be later on in my questions. So we're just looking at the ones on the left. Do you like to see the number of loans done for that previous month and the dollar amount for each individual program?
Jessica, this is Bruce. I guess I don't see any reason why not.
Okay.
It's giving us an idea of what should be taking place in the future. fact,
Right.
we understand that we get a reservation may not happen, but at least it kind of lets us know what our volume should look like.
Exactly. Do you use the Idaho purchase numbers to review the current status of the MBS program? So do you review how many loans were purchased by Idaho the month before? And do the foreclosure numbers help you in making program decisions? So those are just delinquencies and foreclosures on loans that are purchased by Idaho. So does that help you make decisions on programs, looking at the number of loans they purchase and the delinquencies?
This is Sheila. I don't know that it helps us look at loan programs by item and evaluate them, but I do think it's really helpful to know where we are on foreclosures and delinquencies.
On loans serviced by Idaho. This is just Idaho.
This is Ryan. I'll just say, generally speaking, I'm in favor of more information, the better. So I guess I'm wondering why we're moving stuff. Is it difficult for you, Jessica, to compile some of this information?
Not as difficult as it was when I first started by any means. Honestly, it used to take me days. I think, and maybe Cheryl can speak to this as well. We recently had what's called 508 compliance come up, and having to have all of our documents be compliant to the federal regulation that documents presented online and to the board have to be 508 compliant for people with disabilities. So it's extremely difficult to get, well, it was my understanding it was going to be very difficult to get all of this data into that 508 compliant type document.
Yeah, so just
So,
real
yes,
briefly
yeah,
on
go ahead.
this, and I'm touching on it on the Ops Exec dashboard, but Section 508 pertains to persons with visual impairments. So this would be individuals who are using things like screen reader devices to help gather information for a public meeting that they are joining. And so the reason for asking these questions is there's some specific challenges in tabled formatted documents like this, where we want to provide as much information as possible, but still keeping it within a, 1, maybe 2 pager. But the ADA compliance includes everything needs to be 12-point font, 1.5 spacing. If there's any merged cells in the table, that can be problematic. So really, it's just soliciting input about the most important pieces of information. So if we look to, update the formatting on this table a little bit, that we're retaining all of the information that's most important to the board members. Or if we don't present it on a every month board dashboard basis, what information could be rolled up and shared, twice annually or once a quarter or on an annual basis. So really just trying to think through how we can share all the information that you guys really like to have and need to have, but to maybe slim down where it's not necessary if possible.
Personally, I think the next sections maybe could be slimmed down a little bit, but if you guys want the data, then we'll figure it out.
Well, one things I would like to say when I look at the loan purchase as an example by Idaho, that helps me look at our runoff versus our purchase, because it shows the total that being originated versus the total that's running off. Now I don't know we see Idaho's runoff, but I know what our portfolio is running off at. So it allows me some sort of idea there. The other thing that I look at, particularly when I look at these delinquencies, and I'm realizing that the first mortgage and DPA will probably mirror each other when it comes to delinquencies. But what I look at there is right now I see 27 delinquencies, and we're only in this year and a half. That seems rather high to me. So
in talking to Idaho, they say that our numbers are very low.
that's interesting.
That surprised me.
So that's
Bruce,
good. I'm glad to know
question.
our numbers are low.
Bruce, just a quick question. This is Jeanette. Would you describe what runoff means to you? Describe that. What does that mean?
That was for me, Jeanette.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, runoff is the number of loans that pay off.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't familiar with the term.
So we had 44, if I would remember correctly, run off or pay off. And we
Okay.
put on 2 and they put on 25. So we're at a negative 17 as far as
Okay.
the volume would go. That's what I
Okay,
looked.
thanks. Just terminology.
Okay.
That's all.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Any other questions for Jessica on this one?
So Bruce, I would have a general comment.
Go ahead. Sheila?
I wouldn't, I like the information, and just because I was in the business, probably like you, Bruce, you tend to look at it pretty hard. Don't always make a comment on it, but it's all good to have. I wonder if we could reformat it so it was easier to meet those requirements of that federal regulation.
That's a good comment.
The current Excel workbook that we're using has been developed to address those 508 compliance matters. I think it's the addition of the MBS information that it's getting a little tight. So I think worst case scenario, Jessica, is we may need to have this break up into a second or third page. I can't recall how long it is now. But these Excel templates are drafted by the Commerce Marketing and Communications team, and they do meet the 508 compliance as long as we don't mess with them or try to add more to them. So I think we can just work within the data that we have and confirm all of the spacing for future board meetings. Jessica, do you have other comments that you wanted to get through and get feedback on?
Oh, I guess the one that takes up the most amount of space on this is loans purchased by lender, and they go by, which is scroll down just a smidge. On the left-hand side, we have what happened in the previous month, and then we have a running tally of the year to date. Do you like the breakdown of both of those, having a month and then a running tally, or can we just do a running tally?
A running tally works for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. And then we have our portfolio summary, and I think that's valuable as far as how many FHA, VA, RDs, et cetera, that we have on the books. Weighted interest rate and breakdown by rate, is that important to you?
Let's give Logan, who's sharing screen now, I think the time to get to the homeownership
Get back to
dashboard.
that page.
I think that's interesting, but I don't know that you'd have to have that on a table. Why don't you just put that in your written documentation?
We'd reformat it. And then do you like the RAM activity? I'm assuming you like the RAM activity, just to know where we're at with that program.
Yes.
And then the delinquency and foreclosure rates, was that good coming from me and what Jesse has to bring up? Or should that all be me or Jesse, or put it together? Do you like having our portfolio foreclosure data coming from 2 separate places?
Well, I think that's a place that consolidation makes sense. And it seems like it's more in Jeffy's bailiwick, but I'd let the staff decide which one. But I don't think we need to see that twice. We just need to see it all.
Okay. Well, we can discuss that internally with Cheryl and Jesse.
Great.
And
Great.
figure
I
out what we
agree.
want to do.
Yeah,
I agree too.
Jessica's dashboard does have a little bit more information for some participating lenders who have continued to service loans that they originated back in the day before our master servicer switch. So Jessica's dashboard will include the delinquency foreclosure information for that very small set of subservicers, whereas Jesse's in-house dashboard does not reflect that information. And then, of course, then we also have the information coming from Idaho as well for their specific portfolio.
And then
I'm going to pause for a minute because I think we're going back and forth to have Mina go back to sharing, because I think we got some tech help and we tried to share and it didn't work. So are we seeing if Mina can reshare for the duration of the board meeting? Thanks for you guys' patience.
Betcha.
All right. Am I pausing for Mina to try to share screen, or should we keep running through? Okay, so we're back to Sharon. All right. Jessica, was there anything else on your dashboard here that you didn't get to?
just, I'm assuming you like to see the last foreclosure where the Mortgage Bankers Association, that only changes quarterly when they give me the data. It's the very last thing on my dashboard. It talks about Montana and the region and the nation, but it's only quarterly. And that would go with foreclosures as well. So we can discuss that as a team and decide where we want that to go. So thank you, everybody, for your input. The only other thing that I have is Cheryl wanted me to bring up that NeighborWorks Montana is doing some lunch and learn events this spring. And I just wanted to let you all know that my team and I will be attending all of their lunch and learns. Missoula, Kalispell, Helena, Deer Lodge, Billings, and Bozeman. So if you are in any of those areas, you can find the information on NeighborWorks website, and we will be attending those and reaching out to Montanans about homeownership.
Do we have any board comments or questions for Jessica? You did fine.
I'm going to be a great grandma today, so I'm a little on pins and needles.
Oh,
Congratulations. Congratulations.
congratulations. So exciting. Oh my goodness.
Do we have any public comments or questions?
Seeing none, Chair Posey.
Thank you very much, Jessica.
Thank you, everyone.
We appreciate it. And let's now move on to the multifamily program and Jason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Today we have two bond resolutions up for approval. The first one is the Elms in Kalispell. It's a 60-unit family property. This is an ACK rehab. It's going to cost roughly $263,000 per unit. And TE Miller and Mock Development are the developers, and they are requesting a bond amount not to exceed $11 million. This amount does include the buffer, and unit AMIs will target 60%, and all 60 units have Section 8 rental assistance on them. And we also did receive a letter of support from the Kalispell Assistant Development Services Director. And I believe we do have the developers on the meeting as well, if there's any questions for them.
Do we have any board questions or comments?
My only question was location in Kalispell. I see it's in Kalispell. I was just curious where it is.
Yeah, I believe there is a map here, but it's really small, so I am not 100% where it's at in Kalispell.
It's right off of downtown.
Is it okay? It's close to downtown. Okay.
Yeah, it's at Third and Third West at 3rd Street.
Okay, so a convenient location for what I was hearing.
Fairly near the post office.
Okay. Thanks.
My question is, this is a rehab. Obviously these were apartments before. What kind of apartments were they?
This is Matt. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So just quick point to clarify, this is actually a senior project, and 41 of the units are project-based. The remaining 19 are currently market rate and unrestricted. But this was built about 43 years ago, and it has been one-bedroom apartments from then until now.
Has it always been a senior project?
Yes, correct.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
So Jason, this is Jeanette. Is it important to clarify in our approval exactly what he just said, so it isn't exactly as we just heard?
Exactly, yes. Thanks, Jeanette. Matt, are we so unit AMI, so the total units is 60 and you want to go through the breakdown quick?
Yep. So 41 of those units are project based. 19 are currently market rate and unrestricted. And we will be restricting all of them to 60% AMI to preserve the affordability. And this is a senior community, not family.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
So this, excuse me, I had some background noise. I wanted to mute. This doesn't affect the actual resolution, correct?
Correct. The bond amount is still the same, and it's still 60 units in the project.
Yes. Okay. And all 60 are, we will no longer have any market rate units, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I want to clarify that. Are there other board comments or questions? Do we have any public comments or questions?
Seeing none, Chair Posey.
Thank you, Joe. Then may I have a motion for approval of bond resolution number 260316 MF03 in the amount not to exceed $11 million, better known now as the Elms Apartments in Kalispell.
So this is Jeanette, and I will make that motion, but I'm questioning whether I should add as amended to the specifics as we just discussed. I'm not sure if that's the message. I'm not sure if that's the correct motion.
The motion is on the resolution. The resolution is correct. Correct, Jason?
Correct.
Okay.
So I don't think we need to amend the resolution.
Okay, it's just, all right. I move to approve.
Thank you. Second?
This is Sheila, second.
Thank you very much. It's been moved and seconded for approval of this bond resolution known as the Elms Apartments not to exceed 11 million. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and back to you, Jason.
All right, the second one we have is Sheep Mountain Residences. It's located in Livingston. It's a 24-unit property. This is new construction, costing approximately $262,500 per unit. Boundary Development is the developer, and a request a bond amount not to exceed $4.2 million. Unit AMIs will target 60%. And if you remember back in October, this was one of the 9% that was awarded also. So these two are tied together then. And staff supports the proposed resolution.
Thank you, Jason. Do we have board comments or questions regarding Sheep Mountain Residences? Do we have any public comments or questions regarding Sheep Mountain Residences?
Seeing none, Chair Posey.
Thank you very much, Joe. Then I have a motion for approval of bond resolution number 260316 MF04 in the amount not to exceed $4,200,000, better known as Sheep Mountain Residences.
This is Ryan. I'll move to approve.
Thank you, Ryan. May I have a second?
This is Richard. I would second.
Thank you, Richard. It's been moved and is seconded for approval. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Jason, program update, please.
On the dashboard here today, nothing's really changed since last month. It is just there for availability to see what's coming in our pipeline. We will go through that at the April meeting in more in depth. So We have the loan program numbers up there and our pipeline. Just if you have any questions, be happy to answer them, but we will go through those a little more in depth next month.
Thank you, Jason. Does the board have any questions regarding the pipeline, excuse me, regarding the board Jason has presented?
And the pipeline is actually just a bond deal, so it doesn't have the loans yet since we don't have them come in. So this is just our bond project pipeline.
Any board? Do we have any public comments or questions regarding the program update from Jason?
Seeing none, Chair Posey.
Thank you very much, Joe. That being the case, Jason, thank you very much. We approve it. We appreciate it. And now may we move on to the operations program. And it looks like we're going to start out with rental assistance update.
Certainly, Chair Posey. So this is, again, just update for your guys' situational awareness for the statewide public housing authority that we operate in the broader Commerce Housing Division. So for this is the data as of March 5th, but reflective for January. So paid units, we had 7,013. So this is either tenant-based or project-based vouchers. We had 5.6, nearly 5.7 million go out in terms of housing assistance payments for the current month. And we have about 4,300 on all wait lists. That's an increase of nearly 1,100. For the Housing Choice Voucher Section 8 program, we have just shy of 3,000 households that are receiving voucher assistance. That's an increase of 32 from the prior month. For Veteran Affairs Supportive Housing, we have 304, an increase of 7. We still have some moderate rehabilitation projects. There are currently 38 units that are being paid at about $27,000 for the month. Mainstream vouchers, which serve non-elderly persons with disabilities, we have 20 of those units leased currently at about $17,000 a month. And then this project-based VASH category, this is specific to the Fort Harrison Veterans Residence or Freedom's Path at Fort Harrison project here in Helena. We have approved to lease units back up now, as units passed housing quality standards. And so there are now 28 of the 42 units there leased. And then the Emergency Housing Voucher Program, it's showing 46 vouchers paid. This is an American Rescue Plan Act program, and this program is in process of transitioning those households to the regular Housing Choice Voucher Program, and that transition should be done by July 1st of this year. We do still have 85 project-based Section 8 properties that our team conducts management and occupancy reviews for. That includes over 3,600 paid units with housing assistance payment, about $3.15 million to those project-based landlords. And then we have still a couple of 811 project-based properties with 13 units. You'll see a note here, no payment received from HUD since January 2026. We have had delays for both the project-based and 811 program, still stemming from the government shutdown earlier this year as HUD has been working to allocate funds. And then finally, you'll see the breakdown for the rental assistance waiting lists. Because we moved so quickly through the waiting list over the last 6 months of 2025, we weren't intending to do a waitlist purge in the immediate future, but we are working right now to renew the contracts with the field agency partners, and we also have our Public Housing Authority admin plan out for public comment. So if there's any questions about rental assistance, happy to take those now before we move on.
Do we have any board questions for Cheryl regarding the rental assistance? Any public questions?
Seeing none, Chair Posey.
Carol, go ahead.
All right, Joe, do you want to take the first bit of here and then kick it over to me when you're done?
I sure can. Let's see here. Next board meeting will be held Monday, April 13th and Tuesday, April 14th in Hamilton at the Bitterroot Inn. That'll be in person and via Zoom. Monday's meeting will concentrate and dedicate that to board training and strategic planning. Board member opportunities again, NCSHA LegCon. We know that Cheryl Bruce, Richard, and Ryan are planning to attend. That preliminary agenda is now available to review, and it's a hyperlink within the document there. So if the board members that are going want to check that out, they sure can. And Logan did secure meetings with all the members of the Montana delegation, specifically with their designated staff to talk about items. The Montana Housing Partnership Conference, that's going to be held at Fairmont Hot Springs, May 18th through the 20th. Board members interested attending who haven't already contacted Logan for registration and logistics are encouraged to do so as soon as possible, please. That early bird registration, we get a little cut off of that, little decrease in amount. So that ends on April 1st. So please, if you are planning to attend, please let us know so we can get that early bird special in there. Contracts and procurement, Halliday, Watkins and Mann Professional Corporation. They are our foreclosure attorneys, one of a few of them. That was executed on February 26th. That amendment just simply granted them signing authority to execute assignments of mortgage and the substitutions of trustees in the Mortgage Electronic Registration System, or as we call it, MERS. And that they can sign on the board's behalf, but they still have to, every time they do something like that, they still have to ask us. So it makes things a little bit more streamlined on our end through that MERS. The amendment renewal for First Interstate Bank, that has been executed last week, so it's not being drafted anymore. That was a very quick renewal for them. And then with CSG Advisors, their 7 years ends here at the end of April, I believe. And so we are re-upping with them for another 7-year contract, and we look forward to continuing for them to be continuing provide financial advisory services for both the single family and multifamily programs. So appreciate CSG and their continued work with us in partnership. Some new personnel here, just a couple of them. Christy Hernandez, she accepted the part-time property preservation specialist in servicing. She's got some experience with Student Assistant Foundation, the Department of Transportation, Department of Corrections, and the Department of Justice. She started a couple of weeks ago on March 2nd. And then we have Kirsten Gordon. She accepted the Housing Waitlist Coordinator in the Rental Assistance Bureau. Kirsten is an experienced property manager and leasing agent. Recently worked at RTE Property Group, and her first day was last Monday too. So I believe that is all of the updates that I have, and I can answer any questions if anyone has them.
Does the board have any questions for Joe? Do we have any public questions for Joe?
Seeing none, Chair Posey.
Very good. Joe, thank you very much. Back to you, Cheryl.
All right. For our ARPA Homeowner Assistance Fund, a total of nearly 4,000 applications have been now submitted to all of the statewide programs as of March 6th, and they've spent over $28 million on all of the programs. They're in the process of hiring a part-time home repairs compliance specialist to finish out the half home repairs applications. And they are anticipating closing the utility assistance section of the program by the end of this month due to expending the allocated funds for that program. For the community housing team, HUD's 2026 budget was signed into law, and we are anticipating announcements for our home and CDBG allocations by mid-April. The Housing Trust Fund allocation is dependent on GSE government-sponsored enterprises, so that's Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, activity volume, and that's typically announced around the same time. We're anticipating the allocations to be similar to our 2024 and 2025 allocations, which were about $3 million each for home and HTF. And scrolling down, the application for the Home Housing Trust Fund and CDBG housing applications will be September 15th. And they will accept applications on a rolling basis for the CDBG housing stabilization and home buyer assistance programs to undertake single family rehab and provide down payment assistance financing. They are drafting the 2025 Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report and our 2026 Annual Action Plan. There will be public comment opportunities on both the CAPER, which is that Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, and the Annual Action Plan on June 10th and July 9th. They're also reviewing and they're also receiving and reviewing annual compliance documents for the home and housing trust fund rental portfolios, and their team is beginning to schedule site visits. For my update, the Departments of Commerce and Agriculture are planning a roadshow to visit 10 cities from mid-June to late August to meet with local leadership and elected officials. The purpose of these meetings is to provide an overview of the commerce and agricultural programs that support Montana communities, highlighting specific investments and results over recent years. I've included the list of cities and dates below. Just note they could be subject to change. I'll be attending 7 of the 10 locations, and Julie, Jason, and Jessica will cover the remaining 3. Thank you, guys. We also have the opportunity to invite 2 or 3 partners or stakeholders for each visit. So board members, if you're interested in attending the convening nearest to your residence, please reach out to me, and happy to chat logistics with you guys. We're working on the materials for these stakeholder roadshow events now, so it should be good time. And scrolling down, the Economic Affairs Interim Committee, they discussed this HJ 55. So this is a property management licensing and practice study resolution. You can still go to the legislative website and view that recording. It was a very interesting panel, and I think a lot of good points were raised about Montana's current number of exemptions to property management licensing requirements. So I think that conversation will continue to happen at the Economic Affairs Interim Committee. And board members, you also missed, but we had a housing coordinating team meeting last Thursday to discuss housing and community needs. We will work to have the recording of that meeting posted to the Commerce website. We shared our intention for the Board of Housing to undertake a statewide housing needs assessment, and we are working on the MOU and scope of work with BBER for that statewide housing needs assessment. We also hosted MSU's Extension Housing, Education, and Community Coaching for Rural Communities lead, and Ann Schwen for the Community MT Division's Community Technical Assistance Program joined us as well. So if you're interested in everything statewide housing needs assessment, regional rural work, or local technical assistance for communities, give that recording a listen. The audit of the fiscal 25 Board of Housing financial statements will be presented to the Legislative Audit Committee at their April 9th, 10th meeting. I think we've provided legislative audit staff with our preferred date, which I think was Friday, but we will let you guys know the final date and time for board members who would like to join that virtually. And I did just mention, but we have open for public comment right now and through April 15th, our Public Housing Authority annual plan and administrative plan. We'll shortly have up on the website a slide deck that covers the summary of these changes, and we'll be holding a public hearing on April 15th at 10 o'clock. So any interested community members or stakeholders who would like to weigh in our proposed policy changes for public housing administration, please do give that plan a look. And then we talked a little bit about this with Jessica's presentation, but we are working to ensure compliance with the Federal Department of Justice's final rule regarding accessibility requirements under Title II of the American with Disabilities Act for state and local government websites, mobile applications, and digital content. So what this means is we communicated to developers and stakeholders who submit materials that are included in our board packets, which are obviously posted to the Commerce website, that those external third parties take efforts to try to ensure their documents are 508 compliant. We've provided developers with some resources for their review. And really it's a matter of ensuring, 12-point font, 1.5 spacing, that color contrasts are appropriate for people who have color blindness. Jessica talked a little bit in terms of her dashboard, but I'd like to scroll down on a few document types that may be difficult for us to remediate to solicit board member feedback on the usefulness, helpfulness, and how you guys would like us to include these going forward. So one of the challenging things with Section 508, site or floor plans or architectural renderings, these type of documents might be very challenging for us to remediate to Section 508 compliance because of merged cells or other dynamics. We can include information, what they call, if it's something visual that a screen reader can't pick up, you can include a description of that visual to describe it to someone using a screen reader. So we can do that with some of these documents to just include a narrative that a screen reader would pick up. But to the extent that board members could pause for a minute and weigh in with these particular document types, site and floor plans, architect renderings, and market studies, would it be acceptable for us to not include site and floor plans or architect renderings in the board packets? Or are those things that you guys still want to see when you're reviewing projects? And we will need to then do our best efforts to remediate those. With respect to market studies, this is a template that we've identified that we need to do some work on. So we could work to update the current template, or we could pull out the most key metrics and takeaways into a word narrative summary and a bulleted point summary. So open to your feedback at this time for those more tricky documents that we're dealing with.
Hey, Cheryl, this is Richard.
Yes.
Or rather, pardon me, Chair Posey.
No, go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, I guess I have, I'm not sure what the purview of our board is in relation to the state of Montana, Department of Commerce here, but I'll say something, as someone who's been blind in my right eye, has very low vision. I have for years had to set every device, handheld, as well as laptops, et cetera, for accessibility. I do have a driver's license, but I always barely meet the test. So I've had low vision, and I'm appreciative of the challenges here. At the same time, I think to decrease the amount of data available to this board in some effort to meet federal guidelines that I think are, clearly well-intentioned, but I would argue not really aligned in the public interest. I'd like to see us continue these architectural renderings and, if need be, approach. I don't know if I'm looking to see here if the director of the Department of Commerce is on here, Marta, still. I won't keep screening around, but I just wonder what the possibility would be for the state to take some sort of meaningful legal action to prevent the federal government from enforcing this sort of guideline, which is limiting public as well as board governance of what we're supposed to be doing here in an effort to help folks. Frankly, many of whom are in the same situation I am, have low vision. There are people who have no sight capability, so I appreciate that. That's not going to be helpful to them. But anyhow, so that's my kind of general question to Chair Posey or to Cheryl or to Marta if she's on. Is there any possibility of us approaching this from a more actionable standpoint to push back at these federal regulations? Say, hey, we have a job to do. You're preventing us from doing that, and we're going to continue doing this, and we're going to push back if we need to from a legal perspective. Anybody else have an appetite for that?
So I will add, Richard, very good comment. After this board packet was drafted, we did receive some clarification from the Montana Department of Commerce legal staff. I had reached out to a woman who works at the Department of Administration that's been kind of over the 508 compliance implementation for the state. And I asked some specific questions around how do we handle documents submitted by third parties. Because these documents are going onto our website, then it was the understanding that if it's going to live on our website, it needs to be compliant. But we also were in an awkward spot of feeling it not appropriate for us to remediate documents provided by a third party, just for liability and other reasons. And so we did get a response back from the lead over at Department of Administration, basically deferring to the Commerce legal team and their comfort level. And what they shared with me toward the tail end of that last week is that we do not need to remediate third-party provided materials. So we can continue to receive those site and floor plans, architectural renderings from the developers and include them in our board packet. What we will need to do is update our disclaimer accessibility language on the board agenda itself to make very clear that if an item in the board packet is not accessible to a member of the public, who they can contact to request that document in an accessible format. So we're going to work to update that language for the April board meeting, and then to recommunicate with our third-party stakeholders and developers that we can continue to receive and include these documents. And I think that clarification, again, that wasn't available at the time of this drafting, puts us in a better spot. You'll notice in this board packet, cover letters weren't even included on official letterhead from those developer organizations. And it was something that we agreed to do as a kind of stopgap for this March meeting. But the board, the stakeholders still submitted their cover letters in their original format with header and footers on there, just so we could illustrate that we didn't modify any of the information that they submitted in putting it in the board packet. So I think we're in a better spot now. And if board members feel strongly you want to continue to receive all of the information you have been receiving, we can certainly do that with that added disclaimer, and we'll encourage the developers to submit things in as much compliant state as possible, but some of these things just might be a little trickier to do. So I'll go ahead and pause there. I'm not sure if Director Bertolio heard your comment or had any other thing that she would want to respond at, but I'll give her a quick space in case she does.
Good morning. I do appreciate just the rundown, Cheryl, that you just explained, because I was going to say that I would gladly talk to legal, but you had already done so. Does that suffice with you, Richard? Her explanation.
Yes, it does. I think I'm glad to see that we've already gone through some of those steps and that there's some action that we can take to kind of remediate here. And I'm just concerned about where this is headed in terms of less and less potential information that's useful for this board to conduct its business. Sounds like we're on a good track.
Great. Thanks, Cheryl.
Awesome. Thank you, Director. Okay, so we will just continue based on that legal clarification that came in at the tail end of last week. So we will still include third-party documentation within the board packet. We'll ask that developers do their best to submit things in a compliant state, just knowing that some materials won't be 100% compliant, and that's why we'll include the disclaimer and the ability to provide those documents in an accessible format upon request. So just continuing on here. So this is a carryover from last meeting, but we're still working on our training and strategic planning agenda for our April in-person meetings in Hamilton. Many thanks to Jeanette McKee for working with Logan on selection of restaurant for dinner, and to Logan for arranging a tour of the Daily Mansion as part of our visit. So we will have a lot to discuss in April, and if you haven't already let us know your availability, please do, but we're hoping to see all board members in person in April. And I believe that is the end of my dashboard, so happy to take any questions or comments.
Do we have any questions or comments from the board for Cheryl's report? And Richard, thank you very much for your comments. They're greatly appreciated. As an old construction lender, I'd hate not to see site plans. That'd drive me nuts. Do we have any public comments or questions for Cheryl regarding her report?
Seeing none, Chair Posey.
Thank you very much. That will take care of our meeting. I have one comment and one question. First off, the comment is I read today that the state of Washington passed an income tax for the first time. It'll be interesting to see what kind of movement of people that has toward Montana or not, maybe more toward Wyoming or Nevada. It'll be interesting, though, to see what happens there. And for Ryan and Richard and Cheryl, as has always been my tradition all my years in DC, Monday night, I will make reservations at the Old Ebbets Grill for dinner. I always make them late. So that means 8, 9 o'clock at night, giving people time to get in. So if you could just let me know if you're interested and if you'll be in and time to do something of that nature, I'd appreciate it. And there's only 3 board members, so we don't have a quorum, so it's not a board meeting. So we're okay with the state law there.
Excellent.
Any other comments for the good of us or the public? Well, hearing none, thank you very much. Another very good board meeting, and we'll see everyone in Hamilton in April.
All
See you
right.
then.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Happy
Thank
St.
you.
Patty's Day,
Take care,
everybody.
everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.